7 people have been arrested for sacrificing a child to find treasure. The main accused in the case, Mashak, has passed away because of a heart attack. Now, Mashak is accused of killing a 1.5-year-old boy, Shaji. The body of the child was dismembered after the sacrifice. The child was killed to get treasure in Firozabad, and that is what the gang thought. Among the 7 people who were arrested includes the child's own father, Shamsad. The child had gone missing on the 21st of May and the body was found on the 26th of May. Well, from all this, I'm joined by my colleague Varghese. Varghese, this is very bizarre and dastardly. Give us more information on this.
Well, what happened was on 21st, this 1-year-old girl was in fact missing, and Shaji was missing from there. And the relatives immediately gave a complaint with regards to the matter. And there was a search operation that was conducted by the police also. But later they found that the body on 26th of May, and it was totally dismembered. The limbs were somewhere else, the head was somewhere else, and they were able to in fact, establish the identity of the child. Now, later investigations gave the shocking aspect of it, and the shocking aspect of it, Nolan, is that this child was sacrificed to get a treasure somewhere in Firozabad. And nobody knows who advised these people to, in fact, go ahead and sacrifice this young child. But then what happened is the police tightened their nose, and one more shocking factor has been that the father of the child is, in fact, involved in this, and 7 people were, in fact, arrested on this matter. And the other thing about it, Nolan, is that after the arrest, the main accused, Mashak, who is supposed to have, in fact, convinced the other people to take part in the murder, he has, in fact, died because of a heart attack. So the prime accused has died, the main accused has in fact died of a heart attack, and this has in fact led to a shocker, because the case has been focused upon how he was able to convince the other 6 to in fact get engaged in this crime. But anyway, it was a dastardly crime that has come in, and at present, with the main accused dead, the police are still trying to establish how did these 7 of them, including the main accused, go ahead with this crime, and how was it possible for them to in fact execute this, and what was the belief that drove them into this, Nolan?
Now, Varghese, don't you think that it's high time the government comes out with measures in order to stop people from falling for these superstitious sort of steps that they take?
Well, Nolan, the government has been mulling over the laws with regards to this, but its implementation has always been a problem, because the question is about faith, and the faith is a matter of private opinion. So that is again something that has in fact been a hold with regards to the law. But in this particular case, the 7 arrested, the police are trying to find out exactly from where did they get this information that if this young child was in fact sacrificed, they will be able to get treasures, and who was spreading this kind of information, who was the encouraging factor for these 7. And since the father's child is also the child's father is also involved in it, it has become a shocker for them, Nolan.
Right, Varghese, thank you very much for all those details. In fact, 7 people have been arrested for sacrificing a child in order to find treasure. The main accused in the case, Mashak, has passed away because of a heart attack. Mashak is accused of killing 1.5-year-old Shaji. The body of the child was dismembered after the sacrifice. The child was killed to get treasure in Firozabad. Among the 7 people who were arrested includes the child's own father, Shamsad. The child had gone missing on the 21st of May and the body was found on the 26th of May. Now, Mandur may be peaceful due to prohibitory orders in force, but the villagers are certainly not. Prohibitory orders under Section 144 have been imposed on Mandur, and this has facilitated dumping of municipal waste at the landfill site in this particular village. Now, the dumping has started to take a severe toll on the health of the villagers. Diseases and the stench run sky high in Mandur. In fact, those are some of the skin ailments that the people over there keep suffering from on a daily basis. In fact, it's not just cold, coughs, headaches, fever, but a large number of diseases. Now take a look at the condition of this particular woman from Mandur. Her name is Narayanamma, and her health has been deteriorating because of the filth dumped in their own village. Well, it's not just humans, even the cattle are not spared from diseases. In fact, we're told that the yield of cows, milching cows, has dropped from about 22 litres to about 9 to 8 litres per day. Now, the BBMP had given a written assurance that from the 1st of June, no trash would be dumped in Mandur, but it is still going on unabated. Mandur villagers have convened a meeting today to decide their next course of action. In fact, ever since the 1st of June, the residents have been adamant in not allowing garbage from Bengaluru to be dumped in their village at the Mandur landfill. We saw how they protested on the 1st, how women folk also came out in large numbers on the 2nd. Now, from the 3rd, the government had no option but to impose prohibitory orders under Section 144 of the Indian Penal Code. So from June 3rd onwards, Section 144 has been imposed over there, and because of that, the BBMP has been been able to dump some garbage at the Mandur landfill. But as of now, we're told that the villagers have gone ahead and met Kumaraswamy, a former Chief Minister. They want him to lead this protest against the BBMP and the government. Now, the landfill over there has created a lot of problem for the people. Apart from polluting the groundwater, the stench in the area is unbearable for kilometers together. And apart from that, no businesses set up in Mandur. And the Mandur residents are also finding it very difficult in order to find basically boys or girls for youth in their particular village to get married. And moving on, does your vehicle have shrill or loud horns? Then you should get it removed as soon as possible or risk facing stern action from Bengaluru's traffic corps. Now, traffic police have decided to suspend the registration certificates of vehicles with shrill horns and defective silencers. Dayanand, the Additional Commissioner of Police Traffic, said stringent action will be taken against vehicles found guilty of causing sound pollution. In fact, we spoke to the Additional Commissioner of Police Traffic some time ago, and this is what he had to say.
This noise pollution is a big nuisance in a city like Bangalore. And even the Supreme Court as well as the High Court have given certain guidelines to control this noise pollution. So one of the main issues is that of use of these different type of shrill horns, vacuum horns, multi-tone horns, as well as these defective silencers. So we have examined the law, and then there is provision for cancellation of this RC book of the vehicle if it is altered in any way, like using shrill horn or defective silencer. So we are going to implement it in Bangalore city.
All right,
and we will be recommending these cases to the Transport Department in addition to booking of the case. So the Transport Department will disqualify the RC registration of these vehicles. No, the use of defective silencer, we are getting complaints even in residential areas. Youngsters in the night, they go on bikes with the defective silencers, doing wheeling and drag racing and all those things. So therefore, we have decided to implement this. No, shrill sound, it is basically noise pollution. It, irritates the other person, especially the elderly people. They may get shocked, and then it will create other kind of health hazards also. We don't have, from traffic department, we don't have any provision to take action on the shops which sell these shrill horns and vacuum horns. But we have requested the pollution department to take up this matter with the government and evolve certain guidelines so that the sale of these shrill horns, vacuum horns itself gets banned in the state. No, I don't think so. Once the rule gets implemented, then there will be certain impact on the people, especially in Bangalore city. We have started suspending the driving lessons for this drunken driving and wheeling and other things, and it is having a good impact on the people. It has put in some amount of fear in the minds of the youngsters and people who used to do this one. So therefore, we also expect that this rule also will have the desired impact.
Now, a day after a bit of war of words broke out between Manish Sisodia and Yogendra Yadav, Aam Aadmi Party's leaders met in the national capital for the second day. Arvind Kejriwal said that Yadav is a good friend and has raised some issues. In fact, he tweeted, Yogi Yadav is a very dear friend and a very valued colleague. Had long discussion with him. Yogi Yadav has raised some important issues. All of us will work on it. We will also try to get Shazia back. In fact, this is what Arvind Kejriwal tweeted. Yogendra Yadav is a very dear friend and a very valued colleague. Had long discussions with him. Yogendra Yadav has raised some important issues. All of us will work on it. We will also try to get Shazia back into the party fold. Now, earlier, Yogendra Yadav had written a letter to the party colleagues following his resignation, raising questions about some members going against the party's stand following the poll debacle. In fact, in his letter, he had stated, and I quote him, "It seemed that instead of introspection and course correction, we had started moving in the opposite direction," unquote. Now, the Aam Aadmi Party leaders also discussed the reasons for co-committee members like Shazia Ilmi leaving the party. Now, Prashant Bhushan, Arvind Kejriwal, Yogendra Yadav, Manish Sisodia and Naveen Jai Hind were present at the National Executive Meet. Sources say that the issue of strengthening the organisation and the recent spate of resignations will be discussed. Now, sources also say that it is unlikely that anyone's resignation will be accepted.